게임은 라미월드.
Okay, what do we got here? Nice tunes. Where do I go for a good time? Let's hit the town, beach pops. Wow, quite the view.
The body count resulting from illegal street racing continues to grow.
Should be fun. All right, let's go. Glad to see a familiar face. That's not all.
Welcome to Night City Archives. Subfolder 1, Chapter 1, A Brief History of Night City. It's the last decade of the 20th century. The world spirals toward collapse. Natural disasters, armed conflicts, and a thermonuclear exchange see the death toll soar into the millions. In the United States, a political cabal known as the Gang of Four assembles to run the country in secret. Their brazen attempt to manipulate the stock market backfires. Economies come crashing down. Riots, coups, chaos. Against this backdrop of global decay, one man has an idea. Richard Knight, industrialist and entrepreneur, decides to build a self-sufficient city of the future, one safeguarded from the stifling regulations of any centralized government, a corporate utopia. He promptly secures funding from three of the world's largest megacorporations, Arasaka, IBM, and Petrochem. Enticed by the promise of generous tax benefits and a say in the city's governance, they pour their money into Knight's vision. Development soon starts upon a neglected settlement on California's sunny west coast. Coronado City is born, and it thrives. For a time, shady organizations pour enormous amounts of money into the project, expecting to procure lucrative construction contracts. But Knight snubs the unions under their control, opting instead to use independent contractors. The criminal underworld is shut out. Then, on September 20th, 1998, Richard Knight is murdered in his home by unknown assailants. Within days, the city is renamed Night City in honor of its fallen founder. Then, in a twist of cruel irony, it is torn apart. Gang-affiliated factions fight each other for control. By 2005, rule by Underworld is secured. The metropolis is quickly consumed by sin and spirals into mayhem. Eventually, megacorporations led by Arasaka decide to step in and end the anarchy. They spark a brief but brutal conflict known as the Mob War. A flurry of bombings, assassinations, and street skirmishes blitz the ill-prepared underworld. Mercenaries kill the heads of almost every major crime syndicate. The city council is abolished, and a new body of business representatives takes its place. In the aftermath, the corporations begin to clean up and rebuild, propelling Night City into a brief golden age. This opens up some of the city's most decrepit areas to redevelopment, the perfect opportunity for savvy investors. One district in particular catches their eye. Welcome to Night City Archives. Subfolder 1, Chapter 2, A Nation Divided. In early 2022, a power struggle between the two security giants, Arasaka and Militech, escalates into full-on violence. Cities across America are razed. Night City is caught in the crossfire. A group of unidentified attackers detonates a nuclear device in Corporate Plaza. Arasaka towers come crashing down. Thousands die. The federal government, seeking to end the conflict, uses the attack as an excuse to banish Arasaka from North America, thus ending the Fourth Corporate War. Global conflicts cool, but North America remains divided. On one side, the new United States of America, founded by federalists looking to unite the country under a central government. On the other, devolutionists, represented by independent states which cherish their autonomy. Opposing creeds jostle with one another for over a decade as a Cold War brews beneath the surface, slowly shifting the political landscape. Then Rosalind Myers, former CEO of Militech, is elected the third president of the NUSA. In campaigning, she promises to extend federal rule under the pretense of strengthening the nation. Once elected, backed by Militech's private army, she declares war on the separatist states, most of which are secretly supported from overseas by exiled security giant Arasaka. As the Cold War turns hot, federal power clashes with corporate might in ruthless and bloody conflict. Independent states swiftly fall one by one to NUSA aggression. Yet California remains divided. The Federalists of the South align with NUSA, while the devolutionists of the North attempt to cling to their independence. Night City is caught in the middle. As its residents ready themselves for invasion, Councilman Lucius Rhine strikes a savvy deal in an attempt to prevent all-out war within the city. Days later, an Arasaka supercarrier sails into Del Coronado Bay. The implications? Crystal clear. Unwilling to risk another global conflict, Rosalind Myers orders NUSA forces to stand down and signs the Arvin Accord, thus suspending all hostilities and ending what will later be known as the Unification War. In the wake of the agreement, Night City officially becomes an autonomous city-state. For its timely intervention, Arasaka is invited back into Night City and granted a seat on the city council. Although full-on conflict is thus avoided, the struggle lingers on in the minds of many, and for some, the president's peace treaty is a blatant affront to all they've sacrificed. Although the war has officially ended, the conflict is far from over. Welcome to Night City Archives, Subfolder 1. Chapter 3, Birth of Dogtown. Night City, 2058. Savvy investors seeking to profit from booming tourism set their sights on the slums south of Haywood, hoping to turn filth into fortune. After a slew of generous donations to the city council, they're awarded exclusive construction permits. Their vision, a world-class luxury resort called Pacifica. The paradise quickly takes shape, built on the backs of an army of underpaid laborers. Amid development, the unification war between the NUSA and the Free States reaches California. As confidence collapses, investors pull their funds and abandon the project. In 2070, with the NUSA poised to invade, an elite unit of Militech soldiers led by veteran Colonel Kurt Hansen is tasked with securing a strategic position within Pacifica. Their orders prepare a pathway for an all-out offensive on Night City. But the green light is never given. The NUSA and Free States sign the Arvin Accord. Hansen and his men are ordered to stand down. The commander disobeys. 7 years have passed. Kurt is entrenched within Pacifica. His inner haven, Dogtown, is enclosed within fortified walls, a bastion for night citizens seeking to escape corporate governance, a hideaway for all those with questionable pasts. In the husk of Pacifica's stadium, a black market with international reach has sprouted. Business is booming. Hansen's power steadily grows, as does the thickness of his wallet. Both Night City and the NUSA refuse to take an official stance on Pacifica's new warlord, opting instead to let sleeping dogs lie. But given recent reports of feverish activity within Dogtown's walls, it seems only a matter of time before the ticking time bomb finally explodes.